and welcome to another episode of the Art Moehn Auto Show podcast.
Special guest in the building,
Tyser Mustafa.
Thank you for coming on, man.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
We're happy to have you on our episode 2.
Appreciate it.
We still have some balloons in the building from our episode 1 celebration.
My bad about the housekeeping.
Celebration.
Yeah, no one's... I don't really know what to do about the balloons. I don't really want to go through the room like stabbing them with scissors. That might be a little
right.
frightening for people to hear, but
it'd be fun though.
We're just working with it for
yeah,
now.
I'm down for it.
How was your March?
Not bad.
Okay.
I think we're pretty steady throughout the month. We have some good inventory, good incentives, all good things.
Do you think spring break affects the market at all, like people being on vacation, or do you not really notice it in sales?
I think it does a little bit, but then again, it benefits us too because people have the time off that they don't normally have.
Yeah.
So I've noticed kind of a little bit of both.
Yeah.
If I had spring break, I'd be somewhere warm. Got some kids in school, and this is my time to go. Yeah,
Right?
I'd be
Absolutely.
on the beach. So tell us what you do here.
I'm in sales. I've been here almost 9 years now.
Wow.
I am in the Chevy building. We sell Chevys, Hondas, pre-owned, and I love it. Transitioned from a previous sales background, and I haven't looked back, honestly, since I've gotten into the position.
Yeah.
So what made you get into it?
So Art Moehn or sales in general?
Just car sales.
Car sales. So my brother works in the industry. Most of you may know him, Fadi. And
Never heard of him.
No.
I got mistaken for him.
Right. Yeah. So he was in the business for a couple of years before me. I worked for Samsung at the time, and I had some pretty good success selling it with Samsung, and decided after seeing his success here that I'm going to take the leap. I was commuting too much. I was done with the commute. I was ready to stay local, and I went for it.
Yeah, we talked about that in the last, because me and Mo both used to work in Ann Arbor, and commuting anywhere is just like, it's just such a toll. It takes a toll on your work day. It just adds a whole other level to it.
Especially being a dad too. You want to give your daughter time. I don't know if I told you this, but we used to work at Best Buy together. Like he was a Samsung vendor. So
you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say
Different shade of blue though.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, they called us blue shirts.
You guys both worked in Best Buy and Samsung, but I didn't know you worked at Best Buy together.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Samsung, they bought like we call it like a vendor spot. So when people bought Samsung like devices, we would set them up with these guys, and they give them a tutorial and everything on that.
So I was a Samsung experience consultant. So my job didn't consist on selling Samsung products. It was like focusing on the customer's experience, and that's kind of where I got the love for like taking care of people and working with people in general. And it just kind of it helped create the foundation. I didn't focus on sales. It just kind of followed. And then when I was in the Jackson store, we had so much success that my Jackson store ended up being number 4 in the country for like 2 quarters in a row.
Wow.
And they asked me to take on a bigger role, and they said, hey, you could you can be the lead for the Jackson location or go to Okemos. And I looked at it as a better opportunity, bigger store, more employees at the Okemos, and kind of took the leap.
Okay, so that's how you started commuting there.
Yeah.
But now we're.
I did it to myself.
You did it to yourself. Well, yeah.
Did you work at any other dealership, or was this like the first one?
This is the first dealership.
Have you like secret shopped any other dealerships, like when you bought your first car? Or
No,
like that?
I just had bad experiences just being a buyer in the past.
Okay.
Going to like little smaller lots, and just kind of the cringe of going to a used car dealership, and I'm like, I don't want to be like that.
So we were saying it has like such a negative connotation, that greasy used car salesman.
You're out to get me.
Yes, like on any like TV show or movie you watch, it's like, this is what salespeople are like, but it's like,
we're not like that at Art Moehn. We're
like
different.
People are like, sure, but it's like, no, really.
Right.
They're really nice.
So you've been here 9 years. What do you think is like your secret sauce that people keep coming back for you to get your repeats and your referrals?
I think just kind of focusing on the experience, focusing on the client, finding their wants and needs, and just not focusing on selling or trying to make a dollar or getting them into the wrong product. It's really about taking care of the client and creating a relationship with them, because you spend all this time with someone, they come back to you for their problems, they really are trusting in you to help them out with the process. And for me, I take that personal, and I want to make sure people are taken care of.
I think a lot of people don't know, or maybe it's a lot of other dealerships don't do this, but if you have a problem or a question with your vehicle, like, please come back in and see us, not even for service, but if you like can't connect to your phone or something's going on that's not you don't need to take it to the service center, but your salesperson can help you with those kinds of things.
Yeah, and there's 1,000,001 features. You're not going to cover every single one in one setting. So please ask for like a second delivery. I'm sure myself, Tyser, anybody would love to do that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and it's cool because like we talk to people a couple years later, like even though like we might not have seen that person 2-3 years, like for 2-3 years, but you talk to them and it's like, hey, how has da-da-da been? Or you kind of just from your transaction of helping them out with that vehicle, you start remembering like little things like, hey, how's your son? Or and a lot of clients nowadays, I'm like, how do they know I had a kid? They're like, oh, you got a daughter? How's she been? Long time no talk. And it's cool.
Building a relationship, just like you said, right?
100%. Yeah.
It's not like you're just pushing a product, you're building a relationship. And a car is a big part of people's lives, right?
Yeah, and we spend a lot of times at our employers, and like this is like a second family to us. So we really do spend a lot of time here and spend time with clients and coworkers, and so you build a lot of relationships.
Yeah. Speak to us like when it was like the normal car days, right? You used to be able to pick out any car that you want. How did the car business transition for you from like pre-COVID, post-COVID?
Because you were here for 9 years, so you were here well before COVID.
Yeah, 2015.
Worked through
June of 2015.
I've actually never worked in like a pre-COVID thing.
Oh, yeah. So everything so pre-COVID, what it looked like was you'd walk on the lot, you'd have all these vehicles, you'd get $250 Silverado leases.
What?
You get
Silverado lease now.
I would say roughly 5-6, which is wild, but the cost of technology is a lot more.
Right,
Manufacturing is
so
a lot more. There's less rebates. You got interest rates are higher. So there's so many factors post-COVID. But like during COVID, it's like the scarcity of inventory was there. So like you still had some decent deals, and whoever had inventory is like, you got it because nobody else really had it.
Right.
So it's interesting just seeing how it's all transitioned as far as availability. And during COVID, we were doing a lot of like ordering, and it took like 2-3 months because a bunch of shortages, places were shutting down, so that created a lot of issues for everyone. And I feel like we're still kind of dealing with the backlash of it all.
GM strike,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you had strikes afterwards, and just a shortage of inventory. And I had somebody actually had their vehicle in for service this past week for a retrofit. I was like, oh, wow, they're still doing that? So a retrofit is they had the heated steering wheel missing when they built the vehicle, and they promised it for later. And the customer brought the vehicle back in for that.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it is interesting.
When we said we'll get it to you, we will.
We ain't lying.
Customer service at its finest.
It took a minute, but they got it.
Yeah.
Such a luxury.
It is.
Talk about like how your pipeline kind of kept you afloat during COVID, because it's like, you only have like one blue car. It's that, take it or leave it. But how did, with your repeat referral, did that keep you afloat, or like how was that?
Oh, absolutely.
Because it was tough financially, right? Because I mean, if you have 20 plus salespeople and less than 100 cars in the lot, like how much did you have to rely on your repeat and referral, and why is that so important?
I think it definitely, I lost a lot of clients during that time because people were taking what was available. And I also gained a lot of new clients and friends in the business. So the repeat referrals, I feel like they were coming in and they were ordering exactly what they wanted. People had to become a little bit more patient in the times. I did way more orders than I ever did before. Like before, I was maybe doing one order every quarter, and people were special ordering, and it was kind of a luxury. I was like, oh, this is kind of odd, because normally I could just find what you want in a 200, 300 mile radius.
But they don't exist.
Yeah, and at that time, I couldn't really do that. So what we were doing was we were custom ordering it based off of what was available as far as the ordering process. There were some limitations due to part shortages, and I would month to month have 7 to 10 new vehicles coming in every single month after I built up that pipeline. There were a couple months where I was a little dry, and I was just kind of, a little bit of a struggle, but I was working based off of future ordering versus something that was available now.
No, that's really good, right? Because it's nice to have that repeat and referral base, because like, if you have your nose pressed against the window just waiting for somebody to come in, and it's not going to do really well. But it's
absolutely.
Nice to have that in your
Not
pipeline.
back then. That wasn't gonna happen, so.
Right.
Well,
Do you find that you gained a lot of people's trust during that time because it was such like a
Yeah, and I feel like with a normal transaction, like say if somebody comes in and they're out quickly and it's like, oh, hey, it was great working with you. Like, granted, that's nice and it's an easy transaction, but like I built a lot more relationships working with people, updating them over a couple months.
Well,
like,
you had to.
Yeah. Like, hey, here's where your order got picked up. Hey, your order is scheduled for production. This is the estimated time of arrival. So like during that time, I talked to the customer a lot more than I would have in a normal 1 to 2 day transaction.
And I'm sure they appreciate that, right? It's transparency. Like you
Yeah,
built a car
so.
with you want to know like where it's at, and if their salesperson ghosts them, like what are they gonna think? This guy doesn't
Right,
care
like
about
what's
me.
going on? Yeah, where's my car? Like I'm ready for this. Like people are antsy, and not everyone has the luxury of waiting a couple months. So there's some people that either a car breaks down or maybe they get into an accident, and there's situations where you really get forced into the market, and we prefer that you have like that you're able to take your time and get exactly what you want. We don't want anybody rushing into a process because it's not good for anyone.
Yeah. Now, the folks are watching at home and listening at home. If they want to get into the car business, what can you tell them about like the drawbacks of the job and what you like about the job?
Drawbacks, I would say income. If you're not good at managing your income, that really is about it. Because being in like the sales-based industry, there's some months where you're doing great and some months that you're doing okay. So just being able to manage it and kind of go with the roller coaster ride, and that's really the biggest drawback. As far as the pros, like I feel like if you're a people person, that's all you really need. If you're good with people and you can communicate with people, and that's all it is. It's a people business. I wouldn't say it's auto primarily, because you can learn any product. You can learn vehicles. Like when I worked in the phone industry, I was passionate about it, so I learned that just naturally. I had like the natural like want to learn that.
Yeah, people say like, oh, I love cars, so I think I'd want to get into the
kind of like on that last episode when you were talking about.
Automotive industry. You also have to like working with people.
Yes, because people buy from people they like.
This is a people business. It's not just a car
Yeah, don't be an introvert.
Yeah, you definitely have to, get out of your comfort zone. And
what are 3 pieces of advice you would give to somebody who's starting in the business?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh, 3 pieces of advice. I would say always stay hungry.
Okay.
Treat people kindly.
Okay.
So yeah, always be a good person, as good as you can, because you don't know what they're going through, and that could make their day. Yeah, that could make their day. And then number 3, that is tough. Starting into the business, always be humble.
Always be humble.
Yeah,
okay.
be humble.
I like that one.
Yeah.
And I like what you said about don't judge. Like, don't prejudge.
Right.
That's a big problem that people in this business can have, because, you see someone walking through the door and they're like, oh, they're
They might have more money than us. We don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Do not judge people.
Oh, yeah. In the past, a story that kind of stuck with me is I worked for Samsung initially. I was part-time. And I ended up I was part-time at Samsung and K Jewelers. And I didn't really know a whole. I know. No, so I started at K Jewelers, and it was like I was a student in college, just kind of like part time. Wanted to get into the sales industry, and I didn't know anything about selling or selling skills or people skills or anything like that. So I kind of was like learning it on the fly. I didn't really have anyone that taught me the ways. So I was just kind of learning things on the fly as far as like selling jewelry and whatever else. And I had one guy come in, and I was like, it was just me. I think I was like showing him like, hey, here's what's on clearance, or here's what's on sale. And I was like, to me, based off of like my budget and how much I was making at the time, I was like, hey, this is a really good deal.
Based off of what you would.
Yeah.
And out of your own pocket.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, hey, dude, this right here is on sale. Like, your wife would love it. And he was like, he like kind of walked away, and then he asked to work with someone else. I was like, why? And next thing you know, he told the assistant manager, he's like, hey, I don't like how he came at me like I was cheap, or like I couldn't afford it because I was in dirty overalls. I own this big company, and I could spend and buy whatever I want. So he ended up buying like some $15,000 fashion jewelry for his wife, and I was like, okay, like I wasn't judging him, but some people can perceive it that way.
Yeah.
Mr. Business Owner, if you're looking, he did not mean it like that.
Yeah, I know who you are,
Love your
but
overalls, sir.
come see us for a car.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Did you get a little discount on Your wedding ring?
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
wife?
I kind of got a little insight, like I was like, all right, this is good. That's not good. This holds its value really well, and this is what's important when it comes to
so
jewelry. So
that
like
makes me want to buy a ring.
Yeah. I know her diamond is the highest of qualities.
Love that.
Yeah,
Love that for her.
Yeah. So transitioning back to the automotive.
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite car to sell at the moment, and why?
Oh, favorite. Or funnest, is my favorite the funnest? I would say the Corvette Z06. That's the funnest vehicle.
Well, duh.
Yeah. Like
Fire.
after
Fancy.
selling a couple of those, I'm like, wow, this is just exhilarating of a ride. It's just a completely different dynamic. But my favorite vehicle to sell, because I drive one, is the Chevy Blazer.
Okay.
I can speak to them vehicles because I'm in one every single day. I'm like, this is my favorite car.
Yeah.
You believe in it. You bought it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So you drive a Blazer?
Yeah.
Okay. You got it from here, I'm assuming.
From Art Moehn Chevrolet.
Art Moehn Chevrolet. Did you special order it or did you buy it?
I at the time actually it was what was available. So I like many people wait till last second, and I settled. It wasn't the color I wanted, but it works.
Sort of the COVID buys.
Yeah,
Take it or
COVID
leave
buy.
it.
Yeah, but I love it. It's been a good car.
Yeah.
Blazers are nice.
Throughout your years of working here, what's one situation that stuck out to you that made you feel like good about yourself, like a transaction, like whether it's selling somebody their first car or selling somebody like a 2-car deal? Like what's something that kind of stuck out? You just went home, you're like, this is why I love to do what I do.
Okay. It's hard to pinpoint just one.
I know you're going to get the hard-hitting questions
I
today,
know. I should have prepared.
Yeah, you've never been interviewed by Mo before.
For me, I have a lot of them scenarios. There's been plenty of times where somebody's bought in a car for their first kid and they wanted to surprise them, so I helped with that transaction. There's been many surprises for like a spouse. Or the excitement of somebody being able to afford a vehicle on their own, or hey, I've never been able to get a brand new car. So yes, I get into new cars pretty regularly. I lease them, but not every day can somebody afford a car like that. And you just see excitement in everyone. Somebody can be buying a $3,000-$4,000 car, and like, yes, it's an inexpensive car, but we all got to start somewhere. I remember buying $1,500 Honda Accords, and I was living my best life. I had the sunroof that leaked, and so it really is just about the joy of everyone getting a new car, because there are some people that don't really get excited about buying a new car because it's like a chore, but there's a lot of people that really take excitement in it. So for me, it's the joy of it.
Yeah, no, I enjoy the problem solving, right? Because you don't know if somebody's tipped in a car, you don't know if somebody just got in a car crash or a deer hit it, and they're in a pinch, and we don't know anybody's financial
What
situation.
do you mean by tip? That's an auto business verbiage.
I don't even know what that means.
What that means, Miss Emily, let's suppose I pull into your car lot. I'm like, hey, I want to get into that new vehicle, but I want to trade this one in. Let's suppose the car's worth $10,000, but I owe $15,000. So that difference of $5,000.
You tipped.
You're tipped.
The opposite, the wrong direction.
Got it. I was going to say, I'll take it.
And when we say you're in equity, that means like, hey, you got positive money. Yeah.
Okay.
What's
some advice you can give on somebody car shopping?
Car shopping, I would say a lot of it can be done right on our website. So know a general idea of what you're looking for. Occasionally I'll get someone that is completely clueless. They're like, I'm just looking to see if I can get a car. And I'm like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for an SUV or a car? Do you want a sports car? Do you want a truck? So just kind of knowing the general of what you're looking for. The cool thing is we help with the process here as far as like your finance process. We work with a bunch of local credit unions and banks, so we can help with that portion and get you the best rates that you qualify for. But yeah, I would say just the preparedness.
So basically just do your research, have some sort of a base.
Because you can start online, and the process is pretty like seamless, starting online and then coming here and
absolutely.
saying, hey, I already put in a credit app online, and
I
like this car. And
I heard a story a couple days ago. Another salesperson was dealing with these clients, and they were just kind of going from a Malibu to a Traverse to a pickup truck to like
all over the place.
to a minivan. So just the general understanding of what you think you're looking for would help.
What are you using this
speed
car
up your
for?
process. It would help you get in and out of the dealership and just kind of I would say that's my advice.
That's your advice. Also,
Yeah.
so do your research. Is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
you taking the
We can
kids
help
to
with the
soccer
research.
Practice,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
hauling around bales of hay, like
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
matters. What you're using your vehicle.
Yeah. Are you
for.
commuting across? Are you going
Yeah.
2 hours of a drive and need something more fuel efficient?
Need something hybrid. But yeah, how has you're a dad now? Your
Yeah.
daughter's what, 3, 4?
2.5 years old.
2.5. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
How has being a father changed your life professionally and personally?
It gives me more of a meaning, I would say. Gives me more of a purpose when I'm at work, because it's like it gives me a reason to say, hey, I'm doing this for her. I want her to have a better future, and I want her to have this house. I want her to have all these toys, and like it's not about like just the physical, because I love being home. Like as soon as I'm out of work, I'm jetting home.
Yeah.
Like I want to take my off days and enjoy my time with my family. So for me, it just makes me more thankful.
Right.
More than
What
anything.
advice
Yeah.
would you give to me? Because as I like to, I just
Expecting
like to tell
mama.
everyone, I'm 20 weeks pregnant.
Uh-huh.
About like work-life balance or family-work balance. How am I going to balance having this cutie at home?
I know it's tough. Yeah, my wife, she was working 1 day a week. I would say just kind of do your best to slowly transition back in, and you got to do what's best for your kid at the end of the day. So as far as making sure that your child has everything they need and the right care, and you have family around here, so you and Mike are lucky enough to have that help.
That definitely helps. It does take a village.
Your environment.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And with your position, you're able to do both in office and out of office and still be efficient. With me, I can't, because
so I
I'm
guess
selling.
I do have a bit more flexibility.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. I would say just your work-life balance, doing your best, because when you get home, that's the first thing you're going to want to do. Regardless of how drained you are from your day of work, you're going to have that energy for your kid.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. You just seen her smile.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So you've been in sales, what, 9 years?
Almost 9 years.
Almost
This
9
June
years.
will be
Yeah.
9.
Would you ever transition into management, or do you want to stick with sales, and do you enjoy help? I know you enjoy helping people out, but
Right,
would you
right.
ever think about taking like that next step or anything?
Yeah,
or?
I would say so. I've over time, I've slowly transitioned towards that. It's like I've been in sales for 9 years, and I've done the grind, I've done the hustle, and not saying that I'm like done hustling or anything like that, but I feel like I can be more help to other people, and help younger people getting into the business and teaching them the ways. And I got a lot of knowledge when it comes to Autobase, and I would say like Art Moehn in general, and our systems and processes, things like that. So I feel like there's many times where I see like somebody new coming in, and it's like, in a way, like we're sales, we're competitors, but I still like to help people out. But I feel like I can take the extra step and help someone even more if I were in a management position. So
Take more of like a mentor role.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm always here to help people. So for me, and when I worked for Samsung, that's what I did. I was a Samsung team leader, and I managed 3 others. So I was a leader to 3 part-timers.
Yeah.
And
I
then
noticed that about you. People at work are like, "Oh, this isn't working. Well, go ask Tyser. Just
Right.
we'll go get
yeah,
Tyser."
Exactly.
So like I feel like I've
So-
just always naturally been willing to help someone and want to see them better themselves. And I think
And that
transition.
type of quality, I feel like you're born with it, because it's not something you can teach, right? You want to do good for people. There's people who are just like, I just care about myself. I don't care about anything else. Are you still doing the taser ties?
I am,
know
yeah.
you're big into fashion, so
Yeah. So during the pandemic, my wife being a nurse, I was off for actually a couple months, and it's something that I dabbled with in the past, and I've touched base with friends in the fashion industry or in sale, like where they had like e-commerce. I ended up getting fabrics and just was dabbling with ties. And then once I was off for a couple months, I was like, hey, you know what? I can dive into this head first. Yeah, I was reaching out to friends, family members. I'm like, hey, help me out with the website. Help me out with logos. And I wasn't getting a whole lot of help. So I said, you know what? I got all the time to do all this on my own now.
Yeah.
So I learned a bunch of things that I previously did not know. So it was good having that time off and being able to just self-educate myself.
Yeah.
And that gave me a more of an understanding as far as like a business background and working with people person to person, and just kind of understanding more people's wants, needs, and being local in the community. I've met a lot of people, and I've actually sold a lot of people vehicles from being at Thai events.
You do.
Yeah.
You do go to a lot of events like Meckley's.
Yeah, I've been at Meckley's. I've been at the American One Wedding Expo. I've been at local wineries. I've hit different markets in Chelsea, Cement City.
So I've seen your ties like in actual people's like weddings, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
people here wear that.
On lunch break, I went and picked up a couple, a couple orders, and I got some ties to deliver. I got like an 8 tie wedding order that's coming this week, and so as the weather's getting warmer, I start working on that on the side, and so it seems like I'm never off.
Yeah.
So when you're not here working, what do you do in your free time outside?
So I spend time with my family and basically travel as much as we can. We're starting to be a little more conscious of being able to travel with our daughter in state, out of state, and we just booked our first trip to Florida.
Nice.
We're going to be taking her to Disney for a day,
Oh,
and,
Disney.
Yeah, and we're staying at a cool little resort. So excited about that.
Has she ever been to Disney?
No. This is her first flight.
Oh, wow.
We've limited it to like 3 hours of driving because kids are uneasy when they have to be in one spot for a long period of time. But yeah, just primarily spending time with family here locally. My brother and his wife and kids live here, and then my parents live in Ann Arbor. So as much as I can, family time.
Yeah,
Nice.
You can't put a price on that, right? Memories are priceless. Money goes, money comes back, but memories stay forever.
Oh, for sure. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. So with the conclusion of this, what's something that you want to tell the world about yourself, why people should come see you for their vehicle needs or just for being a friend?
If anybody that comes and sees me, it could be a repeat client or a brand new client. You've never met me before. You're always going to get the same me. You're going to get somebody that's going to take care of you, somebody that's going to help you with all your wants and needs and give you an honest answer on everything. So just transparency, really.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Tyser Mustafa.
Give it up for him, everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I wish we had a little applause.
We had a little golf clap.
Thank you for joining us today, our very first guest on our second episode of the Art Moehn Show.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate
definitely an honor.
Yeah. It is an honor, isn't it?
And we're excited to have local business owners, people that help in the community, people that can help other people. It just good all around good people on the podcast. So I'm excited for you guys to start this, and looking forward to helping you guys out and you guys continuing to grow this. So can't wait to see where this is in a year. So that's going to be the ultimate, like looking back and saying, oh wow, you guys came a long way.
I know you got your episode, right? Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on.
Cool.
Appreciate it, guys.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Everyone who has liked, followed us. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. I'll link the YouTube to our Facebook page for everyone to see, watch, and listen. So we will see you every Friday here. Tune in for our next guest, mystery guest.
Mr. Guest. It's a mystery.
I don't even know.
All right. Bye.
Take care, y'all.
Okay, cool. We did it.
All right, sweet.